Well, gamers. We are back after a holiday hiatus to bring you the upcoming games for February 2022. Now, I've got my list here, and it's looking to be quite a... Holy fuck. First up on our list for February is Lost Ark, a new MMO action RPG developed by Smilegate and published by Amazon. Lost Ark has been available in South Korea and Russia for a few years, but it's finally making its way to North America and Europe. With 5 character classes and even more advanced specialization classes unlocked as you move through the game, Lost Ark has been generally well received and is promising a whole host of content for players new to the series. From what we've seen, Lost Ark features many diverse characters, regions, and gameplay styles that are sure to hook just about anyone looking for that new MMO hotness in 2022. Additionally, we know we told you that your wallets are going to hurt, but at least you get a reprieve here as Lost Ark is completely free to play. Among the systems in the game, the world, story, and leveling/questing systems have been praised as being extremely solid, so you know some of us are going to check this one out. Personally, I'm hoping to see what the rapport system, which is Lost Ark's take on faction reputation, looks like and how it might differ from traditional faction rankings in other large-scale games. And considering there are an extremely wide variety of different experiences, from treasure achievement hunting through the Tome of Adventures to some good old-fashioned PvP, complete with a competitive mode with its own rewards, there's almost certainly something for everyone. Lost Ark releases on PC on February 11th, 2022. Destiny 2: The Witch Queen. Bungie is finally paying off the saga of Savathun, the titular Witch Queen, that began in 2018 with Forsaken, when she orchestrated the events that led to the death of Vanguard Hunter and community favorite Cayde 6. As Savathun has somehow figured out how to harness the power of light that has been exclusive to Guardians up to this point, players will be on a quest to take back their power and stop the Hive God of Cunning. The Witch Queen is one of the most anticipated expansions in the history of the franchise, and Bungie knows that. They've designed a new major destination, Savathun's Throne World, where Guardians will no doubt be facing challenging new enemies, including Hive Guardians that will use the player's own powers against them. Alongside an epic new story, players will also be getting access to a new raid, where likely they will have to face the Witch Queen herself and remove her from her seat of power as we did to her brother Oryx so many years ago. Even more is in store for players as they have access to weapons crafting for the first time in the history of the franchise, allowing players to create their own unique weapons that they can carry on their adventures. The Witch Queen expansion for Destiny 2 drops on all current and last-gen Sony and Microsoft consoles, as well as PC on February 22nd, 2022. Next on our list is SIFU. Slowclap, the studio that brought us the incredibly fun martial arts RPG Absolver in 2017, is bringing us a follow-up that looks ready to challenge players to their absolute best. SIFU sees players taking control of a young martial artist looking for revenge against a group of 5 assassins that murdered his family. Possessing a magical talisman, the protagonist is able to resurrect himself after death, at the cost of a few years of his life. This means that after a certain number of deaths, the player will not be able to resurrect again and have to start their journey over. Don't fret though. Along the way, he can collect clues to display on his detective board, which will help the player keep track of where his targets are and useful information to reach them more effectively. This mechanic is similar to last year's Deathloop, which also featured the player having to piece together clues to reach their goal. This idea sounds super interesting, and Slowclap promises that SIFU will not be easy. Their design ethos is that Kung Fu means mastery through practice, and they are assuring us that players will have to practice to master their game and reach the protagonist's goal of revenge. With a gorgeous art style and what appears to be fluid and engaging combat, SIFU is a promising title from a developer that has already shown that they have a talent for martial arts combat-focused games. SIFU releases on current and last-gen PlayStation consoles and PC on February 8th, 2022. The sequel to Techland's 2015 zombie parkour masterpiece Dying Light is finally releasing. After 7 years, Dying Light's sequel is looking absolutely amazing in everything we've seen, and as someone who put over 300 hours into the original game, I can say that I'm personally excited at the promise that Techland recently made that exploring the game fully will take an astounding 500 hours. Not only that, Techland has also assured eager fans that there will be a minimum of 5 years of expansion content for Dying Light 2. The original Dying Light served as a platform more than a standalone game, and it's looking like Techland is gearing up to do the same thing with the sequel. Other improvements include a map that is 4 times bigger than the map in the first game, a dynamic choice system to engage players that will determine what happens to the story and the map, expanded crafting, and general improvements to combat and the free-running systems. Overall, Dying Light 2 is looking to be a bigger and better version of the original, and we are ready to fight through the night to stay alive once again. Dying Light 2 releases on PC, Nintendo Switch, and all current and last-gen Sony and Microsoft consoles on February 4th, 2022. The Life is Strange Remastered Collection is a standalone game, or included with the purchase of the Ultimate Edition of Life is Strange True Colors. In the Remastered Collection, you'll be able to revisit the original Life is Strange as well as the sequel Life is Strange Beyond the Storm. While they may not be the most action-packed titles on our list, the Life is Strange series has been widely lauded as being one of the best emotionally charged storytelling series in recent memory. Featuring a new engine, improved lighting, and fully mapped facial animation capture, you can relive these deeply moving stories with a fresh look that promises to bring even more impact to the fantastic performances from the cast. You'll also be glad to know that this remastered collection includes all the add-on content for Beyond the Storm, including the farewell story and even some extra outfits to customize your characters as you move along throughout the story. Life is Strange Remastered Collection will be available on PC, all current and last-gen Sony and Microsoft consoles, and Google Stadia on February 1st, 2022. Starting with fundraising on Kickstarter, the WAYLANDERS is finally ready to be unleashed on the world. Drawing inspiration from classic RPGs such as Neverwinter Nights 2 and Dragon Age Origins, the WAYLANDERS is promising an experience that veterans and new RPG players will love. With 8 classes, 30 advanced classes, and over 800 skills, there should be something for just about any type of player who is looking for a large-scale RPG to sink their teeth into. While the game released in early access back in 2020, the official release is slated for this month, and it's giving players a chance to step into the finalized version of the adventure. With an art style reminiscent of the best medieval-themed RPGs, it's certainly looking gorgeous so far, and there should be a lot of content available, especially after such a long development cycle. While the game has mixed reviews on Steam so far, it seems that a lot of them have been from earlier in development when huge parts of the game were incomplete. All we can say is that the official trailer that was revealed at last year's Gamescom had us interested in checking this one out, particularly because Dragon Age Origins is a favorite of some of us here at 5-9. The WAYLANDERS is available on PC February 2nd, 2022. Console gamers will be excited to hear that Edge of Eternity will finally be making its way to consoles this month, after debuting on PC in June of last year. A JRPG that is heavily inspired by the Final Fantasy series, Edge of Eternity sees the player follow Darian and Celine as they try to find a cure for a corruption that has consumed almost all of their home. The influence on the team from Square Enix is on display big time, and the game has received an incredible amount of positive reviews on Steam. Any fan of Final Fantasy will definitely want to check this one out, especially if you have Xbox Game Pass, which will also feature the game once it releases on consoles. With a stunning world, solid voice acting, and a huge open world to explore, it's almost unfathomable how a team of around 15 developers could put together such a beautiful game that rivals the look of some AAA studios. Edge of Eternity also features a slew of side quests, puzzles, activities, alongside traditional turn-based combat with some unique twists that involve placing your allies and enemies in strategic positions on the battlefield. Edge of Eternity releases for all current and last-gen Sony and Microsoft consoles on February 10th, 2022, and for Nintendo Switch on February 23rd, 2022. We talked about Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires and its Japanese release in our December video, but the time is finally here for those of us in North America to enjoy the strategic side of Dynasty Warriors 9. By utilizing strategic allies and commanding your forces in epic sieges, you'll be able to utilize your custom officer to bring together ancient China under your banner and create a peaceful and prosperous kingdom. With different alliances the player can choose, a politics system, and huge battles to conquer, the latest Empires expansion should bring longtime players of the series back to engage in the multiple different outcomes that can be obtained throughout their playthroughs. Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires releases on PC, all current and last-gen Sony and Microsoft consoles, and Google Stadia on February 15th, 2022. Guerrilla Games is releasing Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to the phenomenal 2017 hit Horizon Zero Dawn, this month, and wow, does this game look amazing so far. With new enemy types, improved combat, which is a feat considering how great the combat in the first game was, and a new glider and grappling hook to aid Aloy in traversal, Horizon Forbidden West looks to expand on Aloy's already mind-blowing story from the first game. And with the ability for Aloy to now dive underwater and explore, as well as battle aquatic foes, gameplay looks to be more varied than the first entry as well. The titular Forbidden West is an area that Aloy's people do not travel to, believing that anything that ventures there will be lost. But for us, we can see in promotional material that we may be going to a post-apocalyptic San Francisco, and we here at 5-9 couldn't be more excited. If there was ever a game that could make a collapsed Bay Area into something terrifying, it's the Horizon series. Everything about this one is looking gorgeous, from the snowy mountain ranges to the lush forests to the beaches covered in rich and vibrant plant life. Players can look forward to seeing Guerrilla flexing their creative muscles on this one and delivering a top-tier experience for anyone who enjoys a single-player open-world RPG with a pretty dark and intense story. Horizon Forbidden West releases February 18, 2022 on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Well, that about wraps it up for all the games coming out in Psych! Come on, you really think we weren't going to talk about it? Winner of the most anticipated game at 2021's Game Awards, Elden Ring is the newest offering by From Software that promises fans of the Soul series, Bloodborne, and Sekiro a bigger adventure than they've ever experienced before. With the lands between, director Hidetaka Miyazaki stated that he wants the players to have the freedom to explore where they choose once they reach a certain point in the game, giving players more autonomy than previous From Software titles. And fans of the dark fantasy genre have something to look forward to with Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin taking part in the writing of the game. Players will also get the brutal, close-quarters combat that they remember from the Soul series and Bloodborne, which has been updated for smoother encounters all around. Players will also be able to explore the game freely to upgrade their skills instead of simply unlocking everything through skill trees, and you'll be able to do that with your trusty new mount, in addition to the game that ensures that players won't have to take a slow walk from one end of the massive map to the other. If you're a fan of From Software games, you cannot miss Elden Ring. Elden Ring releases on all current and last-gen Sony and Microsoft consoles and PC on February 25th, 2022. Okay, this time I promise we're done. What are you most excited for in February? Is there a game that you're picking above all others? Let us know down in the comments below. Personally, I'm probably going to be picking up Destiny 2: The Witch Queen, Elden Ring, and SIFU for sure, but I'm also definitely checking out Lost Ark if I've got the time. I mean, it is free to play. But this month is jam-packed full of heavy hitters, and it's going to be really hard to play all these games. I mean, we're going to have to put in some real gamer hours for all this. I'm Christian, aka the PlatinumChin, and we here at 5-9 Gaming Direct want to thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and we hope you have a great month of gaming. We know we will.